Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a tag and a little pocket to put it in out of trash. So let's get started. First I'm going to show you my trash. I've got cereal box. You can tell I don't have much of a budget because I even get generic brands. And so utilizing my trash to make embellishments is really important to me. I've got a paper bag that came from Office Depot where I get my printing done, and I've got a piece of paper towel that when I'm spraying flowers or things that I want to spray, I put this down and I put the things on there and I reuse it over and over again till it's like covered and it looks pretty like this, like a paper. And so then what I do is I separate the plies. So that's a single thickness like tissue. I don't think there's any more. I think it's only 2 ply. And then I use that to cover things. Now today what we're going to be covering is to make the pocket, we're using an empty toilet paper roll, which has been squashed flat. You can squash this any way you like. If you've got one of those die cutting machines and embossers, you can run it through that. Otherwise, just squash them flat and put them under something heavy, and you'll end up with like a tube like that that's squashed flat. Now, here's a handy tip for you, those of you who don't have die cutters and tags are a bit expensive to buy, or unavailable, or you'd like a different shape. My sister sent me this years ago, and I had lots of dies and die cutters, and some of these are from dies, some of these are just traced. But what we've done is we've created like a library of tags in different shapes and sizes. And when I want a particular shape or size of tag, what I do is I take it off my little ring binder here and I trace around it. And then I make myself a tag. In this instance, we're going to use this one because this one slides nicely into our toilet paper roll to make a nice little tag pocket. And I mean, I've got other ones in there, but I like this one. This one's good. So we're going to be using cereal packet, and we're going to trace over the top of that and then cut it out. So here we go. Okay, I don't bother tracing the holes where the holes go because I just like to do that when it's all finished. Then you cut it out. And once you get to that point, here's one we prepared earlier. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one is one side I'm going to cover with paper bag. I may actually cover both sides with paper bag. I'll see how I go about that. So I'm just going to cut myself a nice chunk of paper bag off. Obviously, I'm not going to be using the part that has the Office Depot. I've got the fan going and the papers are blowing everywhere. Logo on it. Even the other side, you can still see the black logo, so we don't want that. Although, I'm definitely not going to throw this away because if I want some black paper, like to make little flower centers or something, I'll use that and I'll punch them out of that. So, here we've got ourselves a piece of paper that we've just sliced up. I'm going to fold it in half, make sure there's no joins that might ruin it. There we go. Actually, what I might do is just, I'm even conservative with my trash. So, there we go. I'm just going to cut a couple of pieces. I'm going to use my tag that I just cut, trace around it. And I'm going to cut that out. Bear with me because my video editing skills are very lacking, and I usually don't have the time to sit there and go over them for what takes me hours, and then I've got to upload them and then upload them to my machine, do the editing, then upload them again, and it uses a lot of data. So I'm sorry, but we're just gonna have to do this real time. So what you can also do to save time, so you don't have to do this painful stuff that I'm doing right now, is you can glue the paper to your cereal box before you cut out your tag. That there would be genius. So you may want to do that instead of doing what I'm doing now, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So anyway, that's how I've done it today. Now I'm going to use this Elmer's Craft Bond. I use the extra strength stuff. I find it works fantastic. And in order to use this on my table, I'm going to use some scrap paper. Yay! So I just apply the glue liberally, especially take care of the edges because sometimes they don't glue so great. And if you can pick up your piece before it dries, it's even better. Line it up nicely, if you can. Another reason why it's so much better to do this before you glue it, before you cut it, I mean. All right, flip it over. And the other side, although it's cardboard box, I like the look of the paper better. It's more like craft, and the cardboard box one is sort of slightly grayish. So I would rather cover that. So I'm gonna use some more Elmer's. Get my little piece of paper here. And glue that on. And then, because I wasn't smart in the first place, now I'm going to have to trim the edges of my card, but it's no big deal. Like I said, you can learn from my mistakes, and you can glue the paper to the card before you cut out the tag and save yourself all this hassle. Alright, now this next step is not essential. However, I like it, so I'm going to do it. And that is, I'm the queen of grunge. I love it grungy. So I'm going to ink the edges of my tag. I'm using Ranger's Cocoa, and I'm not using my Distress inks because I find that this just covers a little faster, and I like the look of the cocoa on this particular thing that I'm doing. So, and I can buy that, unlike my Distress inks, I can buy that at Tuesday Morning. Is it Tuesday Morning? I always get confused with the name of that shop. And I can buy it there for $1. And even then, it still has, like, they still have specials on it where it's still discounted even more than that. I think I paid 80 cents for that. So considering I pay a lot more for my Distress inks, I'm going to stick with the cocoa right now, especially for doing a job using trash. Alright, so once you finish distressing it, it looks something like that. Unless you're careful with your distressing, unlike me, who's just so slapdash about it. And now I'm going to move on to my little pocket. And I'm going to take my cool paper here, and I'm going to wrap it. Now, instead of cutting it and then messing around with it and wrapping it and all that sort of stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the glue directly to one side of my toilet paper roll. Because this is sort of like working with tissue paper. You want to try and get the air bubbles out of it when you're gluing it. So I find it easiest to just put the glue on there and then lay it down. And that gives me a nice smooth finish when I'm gluing it. Yes, it does. There we go. And then apply the glue on the back side and fold the paper over and then trim off the excess. And that makes for a nice seamless finish. I overlap my paper a little bit so that I don't have any edges showing. I'll show you in a minute. So see, I've glued that there, and then I overlap it to the edges so that I don't have a seam. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of extra glue on this tissue paper here, so it will glue onto that. And then we're done. And then with the edges, what I like to do is trim off the excess, leave about a half an inch, quarter of an inch, how much, what's that, half an inch? Leave about a half an inch on either side. And then what I do is I just, with difficulty, apply a little bit of glue on the inside there. Or you can pour in some like tacky glue or something, and then just fold it in like that. And that creates a nice edge for it. Give it a good press. And then do the same for the other side. I only left about a quarter inch on this side, but it doesn't matter because one side we're going to seal to make our little pocket. And in this case, I'm going to use this smaller side. And I'm going to use a bit of this tacky glue to do that, just because it tends to be a little stronger and more permanent to do it that way. There we go. Alright, so that's not gluing real well, so I'm going to have to put a peg on this so that it holds it while it's gluing. There we go. So there's our little pocket, and I don't think that anybody seeing that, even at this point, would think, hey, that's a toilet roll wrapped in some leftover paper towel. So at this point, you got yourself your little pocket and your little tag, which slides in quite easily when there's no peg in the bottom. And it's important to note that your tag really should be just a little bit smaller than your toilet paper roll, because otherwise it's not going to want to slide in and out very well when you put paper coverings in there and stuff, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and distress grungy the outside of my paper roll, because again, I can't help myself. I've tried not to do it, and every time I've tried not to do it, everything looks unfinished to me. So again, this is not a step you are required to make, but I just like the finish, so I do it. Now it's up to you entirely if you want to use a hole punch to punch, or scissors to punch a half circle in the top there, so it makes it easier and to take the tag in and out. But I've used one of these tags with this, so I don't really need to do that. Oh, let's put our peg back on. And there we go, there it is with the distressed edges. And now to embellish it, let's see, I'm going to start out with my tag, I think, while my paper roll is just... Okay, now these are embellishments I made with scraps of paper that I had cut out for other projects, and I've stamped on this one with a stamp that I've got, and that looks pretty cool. I like that. I like that on the craft background. This thing I'm thinking what I could do to incorporate, because that incorporates the color from the cover. And then I've got my little sentiments here. I could do something like that with the smile, and you know, leave that empty too, to put a little something in or write something in, or I don't know. What else have I got in here? Actually, that's not going to work because I need to slide the tag in and out of the little holder, so let's try and find something else. Yeah, good one, Jen. We could put like a little embellishment like that has like date on it, or a little flat flower, maybe some like buttons, or some washi tape. Oh, look at that. Washi tape. I've got this gold washi tape here, and I'm thinking I'm going to use that on my toilet paper roll. Just to bring out that gold that I've got from the glimmer mist. So I think that'll work nicely, actually. So I'm just putting the washi tape there. Yes, I know most people tear their washi tape. Here's me with scissors cutting it, but anyway, there's that, which means I'm going to have to ink the edges again. Pray the ink stays on the washi tape. There we go. More ink required. There we go. Alright, so that brings in the gold. Actually, let's keep embellishing this one for now, because I think I've got a little bit of a better idea with this one. Here's an embellishment I created with cereal box and stamps and little leftover scraps of, see, that's newspaper underneath there. That's a scrap of something that I printed. This is a little piece of cereal box. This is a little piece of manila folder, and I've stamped everything on there and just layered it. And so I'm thinking that this is going to look really cute if I put it sort of like that on there, and then maybe put in like a flower that I've made out of, again, scraps. This one was made out of newspapers. And this one's made out of cereal box. That's two. No, that one doesn't work. I think that looks quite cute, actually. Or even this one. That looks quite pretty too. So one of those. And then actually for the washi tape at the bottom where the gold is showing, I'm thinking I might want to put in, I'm thinking it shows up too much. So I'm going to cut some of this glittery washi tape here and apply a, and apply a thinner strip of this into the middle. Yeah, I think that'll work better. And so what I'm doing is I'm gonna cut a piece and then I'm gonna cut it in half lengthways. Because I think the gold's dominating right now, and it's overpowering the craft look that I've got on my embellishment. So although I like it, and I like the little bit of bling it brings, I would rather break it up a little bit, and I think this will do it. There we go. That's better. And so now when we put it, yeah, that looks nicer. Okay, so how about something like that? Or like that. There we go. And so that would be the little pocket. And then we've got to work on our little tag here. And so for the tag, I'm thinking I'm gonna keep my little Paris thing, but I need to incorporate some gold and some of the other green because it's a slightly different green. So I may just use my washi tape, but I might do it this way. Maybe diagonal. There we go. Now I know washi tape isn't typically trash, really, but I think you can appreciate that the majority of what I've used is. And I don't want it to look trashy by not using a couple of good ingredients at least, or good materials at least, to make it look a little bit more upmarket. There we go. And before I trim that, I'm going to add the green too, because I'm thinking I'm going to need it. See? Excuse me. I don't care too much about, actually, I don't care too much about layering my washi because, like laying pieces over it, because I'm going to have that Paris bit in the middle. I was going to cover any joins or anything like that I might have. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. And now I'm just going to trim the edges of it. Alright. There we go. And then what I'm thinking might look really good is if I get my brown ink or black, maybe black ink, and then I just stamp some kind of pattern all over the back. These are pretty much all my stamps. I've recently gotten a few more because I really didn't, I had like none. And I just found some little found some little bling, so I pulled that out too. Okay. Here we go. I think that'll look nice. And if it doesn't, I'll have messed up my tag, but okay. After all, it's just trash, right? So it's not like I'm really going to mess it up terribly. Excuse me. My throat's burning and I'm not sure why. Okay. So all right. There we go. And I'm thinking what I need is just like a little flower or butterfly or some kind of little embellishment in the corner there. Let me see what else I have in my little bag of tricks here that I could use. Nothing in there. I got a little postage stamp in the same color, but that's not going to work. No. Hold on. Let's see. What about if I use a little... Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Goodness. I'm just trying to find... My phone is propped up here. And I'm just trying to find a little... I keep all my stuff here in bags. Little cutouts and all my little bits and pieces. Things that I use. Here we go. So if I used like a little... There we go, I think that'll, maybe. All right, let's see, what do you think? So for my little tag, I could have like something like that and then color the rose in. Or have like something like that. And if I have like a little flat paper flower in a pretty color. And this one's 3D, but see, I really like the look of that. This little flower, especially with that pop of purple, works really nicely. Maybe I could stick it up in this part that doesn't go into the sleeve. Let me see if I can make this work.
Mom. No, my brownie.
It's gone.
It's gone?
Yes, it's gone.
Oh no.
All right, let's see if that would work with what I've got on the outside. I think that would work. I think that works. if I put that little flower at the top where the hole goes, and then I have this little flower here, I think that actually will work quite nicely. But I think it needs some bling somewhere. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue this stuff on real quick so that I can show you a finished product and not keep you forever and ever and ever all day. There we go. And this one's gonna have to go on with something a little bit more permanent than that, but that'll work for now. Then of course we have to grunge the edge of this. Have to do it. Otherwise, I was already thinking how unfinished it looked with that on there like that. Ladies, grunge distressing is a sickness, okay? Hello, my name is Jennifer, and I am a grungeaholic. There we go. And I'm liking the look of that already, of course. Now we'll apply some glue to that. Julian, can I have my glue lid, please? My little assistant has run off with my glue lid. Give it to Mummy. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good boy. Here we go. I am going to put the smile on there. That smile was done on a piece of cardboard as well from a cereal packet. That will have to be done with a little bit more permanent, something more permanent too, but at least you guys will be able to have a look. Okay, so made out of trash. And this is all trash. This flower is made out of scraps. This was made out of cereal box. This was made out of piece of scrap with a stamp. This was made out of cereal box. A little bit of washi, which, okay, that wasn't trash, but okay. And here we've got our sleeve, which was made out of toilet paper roll, washi tape. These were all made out of scraps and cereal box. This was made out of leftover newspaper, just newspaper. And in it goes.
Here you go, Mom.
And there it is finished. And I think that looks pretty. It could probably do with a little bit more embellishment. I think we need to add some bling somewhere. I'm thinking I'm going to add bling to the smile button that's here. Just in the corner there or something, and thing on the front, I need to add it somewhere. Maybe a couple little dots of bling might look nice just up here in the corner, and just down here. I think we'll quickly do that so you guys can see it. And then it will be finished. Alright, so I've put some bling there, and a little piece on the star, and I'm going to put a little piece on the dot of my eye and smile. And I think that if I got that in a swap or something, I'd be quite happy. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I hope that you can see that trash can be really versatile and you can make some cool stuff out of it. There's people out there that are a lot more imaginative than me and can make much cuter stuff with trash, but this is my take on it. Hopefully you've learned a couple of fun things from it. You could do the other side as well. You can do the other side of the tag as well. You could add a different color flower instead. You know, there are lots of variations and options and things for you to do, but hopefully that's been enjoyable for you and it's helped inspire you to maybe use some things that maybe you don't. And thank you again for watching, and if you like, please subscribe. Thanks. Bye.